the Game Awards is tonight. And we are going to have a lot of surprises, see money. It is going to be a show that is probably going to levy a lot of surprises in regards to who wins, who gets snubbed. A lot of surprises are going to come out from all of the big developers and publishers. We don't know what Sony is going to bring to the table. We have no idea what Xbox is going to drop on us. They are and have been for the last couple of years bringing big trailers. You know, we've seen Blade there. We've seen Hellblade 2. We've seen hardware. Nintendo has already pretty much released everything they're releasing this year. I don't know if they're going to use the Game Awards to kind of give a glimpse into what they're doing in 2026. They might have a game or two. They are nominated a couple of times, so they might show up there. But we have a list here. And I want to shout once again, Hazador Gaming. He has put out a posting here where he goes on to say, insider, and he is an insider, folks, Nate the Hate has dropped his, quote, predictions list for the Game Awards 2025. And Hazardor goes on to say some interesting stuff. Also, multiple Tomb Raider announcements have been hinted, not only by Nate the Hate, but by others. Now, Tomb Raider is getting a reveal trailer for at least its current project. But this is what Nate the Hate had to say. You know what? I'm only using this as context for a jumping off point. I don't agree with everything here, but it's his opinion, and we're going to read it verbatim. I have some thoughts, some theories, so we're going to get into a little bit of predictions, casting, if you will, for what me and C Money think will be happening later this evening. But here is what Nate the Hate is suggesting that are his predictions and not leaks. He says Persona 6, a new God of War, Control Resonant. Apparently, this is Control 2 with a 2026 release. This is his thought and theory. Multiple Tomb Raider announcements, a new game from Larian Studios, Expedition 33 being announced for the Nintendo Switch 2. He says here, Diablo 4 expansion trailer, multiple debuts from new studios, a Judas trailer and release date, which that is, I don't think is going to happen because that game has had to been reset. A new Sonic game, a new Mega Man game, Square Enix silliness, which Square, who knows what they're doing. No Ubisoft presence. This would not surprise me at all. A minimal Nintendo presence. Indie representation, of course. Random games no one could possibly have predicted. And he has his prediction here as Expedition 33 winning Game of the Year. I mean, it's a solid list for sure, but I mean, look, we're not going to break down a list that long because this is only a 60-minute program. But C Money, I'm going to go to you first on this, and I want to ask what are your top three expectations for the Game Awards 2025, and more importantly, and of course we'll take those, and those are going to be a multi-plat conversation. I do want to then turn the coin over and ask you a specific Xbox question, and that Xbox question is this: what, if anything, is Xbox going to drop at the Game Awards, and should they bring something to the table?
So, number one, that sound was mine, is my Mac. I spaced out the sound because it just does notifications. And
okay. Well, there you go, folks.
I just muted it, I think. So hopefully it won't make any more sounds. I just completely forgot that I have my computer here. Like I have all the other devices all muted. And I just completely spaced out this goddamn sound. So it was me,
dude.
So that is, I think I muted it now. So we should be good. And then as far as the show tonight, so this is the thing. For me, Xbox is like the main thing that I
of course
think
that's
about.
The main draw. I mean, this is an Xbox show, for crying out loud.
So like that's my excitement. Like I don't really think I'm not wondering like, oh, I wonder if From Software is gonna. I don't give a shit. If they drop something cool. But like it's really Xbox for me. And the thing that I think the thing that I really want to see, and it's kind of like I feel like I'm trying to envision that they're going to repeat the pattern. And I feel like based off the fact that they've been talking so much about the next gen console, just like they did in 2019, that I feel like they're going to repeat the 2019 Game Awards and hit us with what's coming next year.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. Talk that talk, or TTS as it's known.
That's what I feel, man. I really, really want it. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm still going to take the show for what it is. But that's my hope. I really hope to see it there. It'll kind of finally like take all the shit that we've been hearing and put it right into perspective. Like, oh yeah, it's going down. 2026 is the year, 25th anniversary. I feel like you got to understand, in my mind, the way I'm looking at it is next year is the 25th anniversary for Xbox. To be clear, until the June showcase, and even then it might not even compare, this is going to be the show that has the most eyes on it.
Strong point.
This show is the place that everybody's going to be watching. And if you're Xbox and you're saying to yourself, okay, next year is my 25th anniversary, we're going to go hard next year, just like Jason Rano. He just brought it back right just recently. He talked about what their plans are for next year and the fact that they're going to, look at the legacy, right? So we have big conversations about back compat and all that stuff coming to PC, coming to the handhelds, and even more stuff coming. And then he said they're going to define the future. They're going to define the future of Xbox next year. So in my mind, if you know that you have the most eyes that are going to be happening between now and June, this is the time to put that spark, to go ahead and be like, this is our 2025. Yes.
Are you suggesting, C-Money, that Xbox needs to slap it on the table and show the world what they're working with? Is that what that?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Nuts and all. Both. Everything. Full package has to be on there. All right. Full thing. Just slap the whole thing on there. Full Monty. They need to see it all. They need to know what they're working with for sure. 100%. I just think it's the right move. If you're doing a console next year, this is the time to show it. Get everybody hyped. I've never been more hyped in a show. When that shit happened, when I was watching, I see the moment. It was like imprinted in my head. I can see the moment. I can close my eyes, go right back into the room where I was standing. All my kids, my wife, we're all watching the show. And I just I was like, no, they're showing it. Just went crazy, right? Like, this is the moment. Recapture that moment. Go ahead, show it to us, and get us all hyped. I really, really want to see it. And then the same way they did it, boom, show us a game. Look, it's been a while already. We knew they were working on it from the past, and they're probably going to be the trendsetter going forward, like setting a new bar again. Show us Project Mara, right? Show us what Ninja Theory has been working on. We know they're going to go ahead and take it to the next level, right? They're not going to just do the same thing, right? So they're going to take it to the next level. Let's see that. Let's have them come out and then give us some updates. I mean, I think Xbox can really go ahead and use this as a platform of what's next, not the stuff that we're going to see in January, like not like just the same games that we know are coming, right? Like, use this opportunity to be like, hey, you didn't know this studio was working on this game, but boom, check this out. Here's a trailer of a game coming, soon, right? I feel like it's the time. And I think that's for me, that's the most exciting thing that I'm going to be looking for, right? Like when they go ahead and show us like updates to games that we already know is coming out, and I'm talking about just like general third-party games or regular games, like updates are cool and all, but it's like I'm in it. Like the exciting part for me is to see new, right? What's new? The only time I'm good with seeing these updates is if it's something that we only saw like a teaser trailer for, right? Like if it was a teaser trailer and now you're going to show me full gameplay, cool. Like that's dope. But outside of that, you have so many eyes on you. Show us some new and exciting shit coming out of the Xbox first party team. You know, it's there. There's so much talent. There's so much high quality developers that are there. So many awesome franchises that are there. Let's flex some of that stuff this show and let's go out. We know PlayStation's going to be there. We know we're going to see Soros, which I mean, listen, I'm still open to seeing it, but it's from everything that I've seen so far, it just looks like Returnal 2.0. I hated Returnal, so Returnal 2.0 is not going to be exciting for me. Hopefully they can show us something different. I know there's rumors about like God of War. I don't know, if that would live up to something that would get me hyped. I know you mentioned there's like a rumor that's like a 2.5D God of War.
2.5D, or which I think is what they were referring to. And this leaked about 2 weeks ago. Now, granted, folks, you got to remember with AI these days, I can't tell if something is real or it's not. Right.
That's also
So
true.
someone had posted a picture from a pre-show, testing out the stage, and God of War. They had a comparison of when the original God of War looked like and when it released versus what Kratos would look like from God of War 2018 in a modern setting. So there's been rumors for quite some time that they were going to remake the trilogy, and maybe Corey Barlog was going to be a part of that. I don't know if that's a fact or it's not. It's been rumored for quite some time. So the rumor of the original being remade, that's been apparent. I don't know if
Yeah.
the picture that I saw was real, but that is definitely, I think, what they're referring to. Not so much that it's going to be a new, like 2.5D thing. I think they're talking
Yeah.
about
Okay.
it being like what the original one looked like, just with modern controls and graphics.
Gotcha. So not like the new third person,
Right,
close
over the
behind the
shoulder,
back, behind the shoulder scenario, back to the original trilogies version where you're just kind of in this open world and you're just going crazy, right?
yeah.
Not open world, but like in this little. I get what you're saying. It's not the over the shoulder version. Okay, I mean, yeah, I mean that would be cool. I mean, obviously the trilogy has been rumored for a long time. So hopefully, yeah, I mean that would be cool to see, and hopefully it looks good. But I don't know. For me, like pure excitement, there's really like Xbox is the place that I have the most excitement for. Um, so that's what I'm personally looking forward to the most. I see Gentle Stone mentioning State of Decay. Yes,
Oh
give
my
me
god,
a State of
yes. Give us
Decay
an
3
update for that,
trailer.
brother. Oh my god, yeah.
I want to see it. I would love to see that. I feel like that's a 2026 game.
Yep.
So, I feel like we have our 6 big games lined up, Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, Clockwork, and State of Decay. I feel like that's our 2026. And I would like to see it. Let's show us some State of Decay, show some gameplay. I know the last time they showed it, they were, it was, quote unquote gameplay, meaning like that's how it's gonna look, but like let's see it more like not a not something that looks like it's a video and more something that's a player's
Gameplay, like
controlling.
like like like
Yeah.
legitimate, like, yeah, I think we'll all do that. Look, before we get into my thoughts and theories, just I don't like stopping the show like this, and I'm gonna wind up cutting this out once I cut the video. But Crusader of Xbox, brother, you're welcome here. You continue cursing and acting the way you're acting, I'm gonna ban you. So just get a hold of yourself, take a chill pill, and take it easy. We're not here to hear you cursing. If you hate Xbox, I find that weird. You have an Crusader of Xbox name. It's a little weird for me. But you need to conduct yourself like a gentleman. You cannot do that. I will put you on the pay no mind list where you will belong. And that's it. So conduct yourself properly, or Lethal Proper
I
is going to get you.
think Lethal already got him.
All right, so then he's gone. Okay, Lethal, don't worry about it, brother. Thank you so much for getting rid of Crusader of Xbox, who apparently was not really a gentleman. So have a nice time and give the video the thumbs down. But you're not going to conduct yourself in that manner on our show. So that's it. Listen, getting back to what we're all here for, folks, and that is to celebrate gaming. And I think you knocked it out of the park, C-Money. And I have to now follow up your great points of view, hopefully with a few of my own. And I actually have to agree with you. Look, I am not going to say that if I see God of War 1 remade in modern graphics that I'm not going to lose my shit, because I absolutely freaking love the first trilogy. And I understand that's a Sony game, and I understand this is an Xbox show, but I'm also a gamer, so I'm going to get excited for that. The same excitement could be said for something like the rumored Metal Gear Solid remake that we've been hearing about. If that shows up out the chair, there goes Boom on the floor.
The first one?
The first one. Yes, there's a rumor,
shit.
it has been for a while, that it's potentially being done by the same team that also just did Snake Eater. Yes, freaking please. And I think the reason why they did Snake Eater first is because that's technically a prequel to Metal Gear Solid. And if that's their next thing, oh my God, I will lose my shit. Okay?
That would be pretty dope. I still haven't played. Have you played Snake Eater? I haven't played it yet.
I don't. I you know what? I have a list of sins for games that I have not gotten to in 2025. And believe it or not, Expedition 33, even though I only played it 8 hours, is on that list. I don't have enough time in the day. That's just my biggest problem. My enemy is not games, it's time. I just don't have enough of it. But for Nintendo, what could Nintendo show that would make me, jump out of my chair excitement? Well, I'm a nerd, so I would say a new Smash, potentially something new Mario related. Personally, for me, I would love to see Star Fox or F-Zero come back. Those are announcements that, as a big nerd, I would get very excited about. But for me personally, on following the excellent points of view from C-Money, I have to then turn my attention to Xbox. And I actually think that, I want to say it's a no-brainer. But sometimes, if there's one criticism that we all have, ladies and gentlemen, it's Xbox could sometimes be a knucklehead. Like, they have opportunities that someone that is making a lot of money, and I would dare say 6 figures, in their office right now, sipping their latte. And that's probably about all that they're doing. What you should be doing, if I was running the show, because my LinkedIn, I checked this morning, still no job offer from Microsoft. If you give me a seat in the chair for a day, Xbox is going to win. I'm telling you right now, because I have great ideas, which I will no longer give away for free. You want me, you got to pay. I don't dance for free, folks, ladies and gentlemen. I dance for money. But that's a giant pause after that. Listen, this is an opportunity, C-Money, an absolute opportunity for Xbox to show up and show out. Why? Why should Xbox use Jeff Keighley's show to get everybody? And I'm not just talking about the bots like me and C-Money. No, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the people that may have at one point been a fan of Xbox and walked away for one reason or another. Or just somebody that maybe always was a Nintendo guy or girl, or maybe just a PlayStation guy or girl. Why should they get excited about Xbox? Well, obviously, one of the biggest points of contention here is Xbox has gone third party. So, of course, you want to put your best foot forward with your games. Okay, awesome. But that's not where it starts and stops, ladies and gentlemen. It needs to go further. Because here's the thing. Next year is Xbox's 25th anniversary. We've talked about it to nauseam, right? You know that. C knows that. I know that. But some people don't. So what do you do at Jeff Keighley's show? Which, by the way, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but every year consistently for the last 5+ years, his showcase, or the game awards specifically, has gone up not by a couple of hundreds of thousands. We're talking millions of new viewers each and every year that this next show comes out.
Yeah,
So
this last one was 14 million views.
there you go. So it gets bigger and bigger each and every year. And now, look, Xbox has had a banner year. Now, for the normie, for the casual, they may not know that, right? Because, well, they play on PlayStation. PlayStation has shipped almost 85 million consoles. Nintendo Switch 2, they're selling consoles left, right, and center. They're getting new people to play play the console. PlayStation getting new people to come over, or at least convert from PlayStation 4s to now PlayStation 5s. This is an absolute opportunity for Xbox to do a couple of things besides showing banger games, which they need to show. I'm sorry, you do not allow a show this big, watched by that many people, not to show up and let people know what you're working on. But the hardware thing, C-Money, you said something that exploded in my mind, and I kind of want to give you back the microphone in a second to kind of expand on this. Because you said something like a sleuth, a detective, an internet detective that I did not think about. And you talked about the lead up to the show. What has Xbox been doing that they did in 2019? They were talking about next generation. And then the awards show up, and think about this for a second, folks. Phil Spencer comes out, and the way it has been written and who I've talked to in the background, and I'm not getting off this square, is Jeff Keighley himself did not know what they were doing. And this is what I heard. And I've said this publicly, so this isn't like I'm breaking any NDAs. This is what I have heard. Take it off as a rumor. When they did this segment, the pre-show lead up, they showed Xbox Game Pass on that screen, and they changed it. They kept it a secret. Now, I have heard, take it with a grain of salt, that they have something so close to the vest that 2 or 3 people know what they're doing. And Jeff might not be one of them. And I would love to see that same face that Jeff had in 2019, where he looked like it was just a flat, holy shit, I can't believe they did that on my show kind of a face. That's what I am hoping for hardware. And I do hope that and at this point, I don't even care, C-Money, if it's their own. I'm hoping that they announce the OEM hardware for next year and they show what it is. And you know what? Honestly, as much as I love Phil, I don't want to see him do this. Because Phil Spencer is the CEO of Microsoft Gaming. I want to see the president of Xbox, Sarah Bond, come up on stage and do it and show everyone what they're working with. But you bring up a great point. The lead up is very similar. It may not be exact, but it's very similar. And I got to tell you something. When you add the recent interview with BBC just the other day with the best beard in the business, you might be on to something, C-Money. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, it just, I feel like it just makes too much sense. And again, you're just watching the pattern. It's like it's been identical. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought, I didn't realize that they showed or they talked so much about the next generation. Like I forgot about it. That they did it in 2019. They talked a whole bunch about the next gen console out of nowhere. And it's like, again, like what do we talk about all the time with marketing, right? When it comes to Xbox, right? People are like, oh, well, why aren't they marketing? Well, because the game's not close to being out yet. Why they don't need to market it months and months and months in advance. That 2 weeks or that week that it's launching, that's where you put all your energy, right? Now we know they don't do shit. They don't do stuff early. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't market that much. So the fact that they've been talking about next gen a whole bunch now, very similar to how they did it in 2019, just leads me to believe that it's time. And we've heard all the rumors so much at this point that 2026 is going to be the year. They dropped a new piece of hardware, their first handheld this year. It just lines up. And you're right. Like whether it's the first party box or the OEM box, I don't give a shit. It don't matter to me. It's all the same. I just want that new piece of tech that's going to push what Xbox is looking to do forward. And I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful that it's coming. And like I said, if it does it is what it is. Not like it's like, oh no, this ruined everything. It is what it is. We're gonna see a bunch of cool shit regardless. But it just makes too much sense to me. And it's like it doesn't stop. Like literally, like you just said, right? On that BBC interview, Jason Ronald literally said, we're also going to not only the legacy, right? So not only our past for the 25 years, but also the future. What's more future than their next console? I don't know. I don't think there's anything else that you can have there that would qualify. So it just seems like it makes a little too much sense for me. And again, you know, one of the other things, and I was talking about this on our show, is that, you know, when you really think about the situation, you know, we kind of caught up to the games that Xbox had in the pipeline. You know what I'm saying? Like this 2026 is gonna pretty much clear the deck for the most part. Obviously, you got games like Elder Scrolls 6 that we know should be coming in 2027. And we know Blade is another game that should be coming probably around 2027. But that's pretty much it, right? Everything else we're expecting this year, right? State of Decay, the Clockwork Revolution, and then obviously the ones that we already know, Fable, Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? So this is again, all eyes are on you to kind of have that opportunity to be like, hey, you know, here's some games that we're working on that are not coming out in 2026, but this is the future of what we got cooking. And it could be 2027 or it could be 2028 because it's we still like all 2026 we have so many games already. 2027 we already know games, so you can start filling out our mindset. Like, you, as much as it's cool to have, you know, Outer Worlds 2 be a game that out of nowhere dropped this year when we weren't expecting it, right? Like, that's cool, but that's only cool because we already knew so many games that were coming this year. So you still had like a, okay, 2025 or 2025 is stacked. And then it's like, oh snap, it's more stacked than we thought, right? 2026, you're there still, right? We have 6 games, right, that pretty much we're sure coming from Xbox, but you know, there's still more space there that they can show us like, hey, this is some new stuff you weren't expecting coming next year. But then again, 2027, if I'm looking out that following year, you only have like 2 games that, you know, we can kind of point to and be like, okay, well, that's what 2027 looks like so far, right? And in this world where Xbox has 40 plus studios plus countless partnerships with their publishing partners, you know, I'm still remember, you still got Elsewhere, which is that new studio that Activision made under Xbox. So we don't know what they've been cooking for the last couple years. We know 100 Star, which is the original devs of the Batman, you know, the Rocksteady crew that left there because they weren't making single player anymore, and they formed their own studio. So that's 100 Star. They have a deal with Xbox. Are we going to see that? Like, there's so much going on over at Xbox that it's like, start filling that shit back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the roadmap again, right? Like, I thought they would do it during the June showcase, but they still had so much happening this year. Like, I get it. And next year they have so much going on, but it's like, okay, what's after that? Right? What's after that? And I know it sounds greedy, right? But uh, we're in that privileged position. You know what I'm saying? Like we have so much, but you can't, like, once you spoil me, I don't get unspoiled, right? I get more spoiled. Okay. So you got to give me more. I need to know what's coming. I need to be able to point and be like, oh, snap, 2026 is going to be crazy. And I need to know what my 2027 is going to look like, right? Start filling me up, right? Start filling me up. So I'm hopeful that they're going to do this. Obviously, you know, you said it before, Boom. Sometimes Microsoft doesn't do the things that you expect them to do or hope that they do. So, you know, in their mind, they could be thinking, nah, fam, we're going to save that for our January, you know, dev direct, and we're going to just focus on the games that we have this year coming. And then maybe in June, we'll say, all right, here's time to unwrap what's coming next year and the year after that. Sure, that's a possibility, but I feel like this show gets the most eyes out of everything until June. And even then, like we just saw the report or whatever that Jeff Keighley, like some of these people are spending $1 million just to get their trailer for 3 minutes
for $1 million,
on this show. And a lot of them said that it's double the price of what it costs for the June event, opening night live, right? So opening night live is clearly not as big as this one, and
this is the big one.
There is no E3 that would be equal to this. So, you know, yes, Xbox has their showcase, but does Xbox get 14 million views on their on the showcase? I don't know. I don't think it has 14 million views. So for me, I feel like if you're looking to get the most eyes at what you have coming, then this is the time, you know. But you could also make the argument that it would be the time to focus on what's coming in 2026 rather than in 2027. So it just depends. There's so many ways that this can go. But again, like I said, I know for me, that's where my excitement, like that's where I start thinking to myself, man, I hope this, I hope that. Everything else, I'm just excited to see what gaming has in store. I also, you know what, let me go in a different direction with it. Another side piece of this is I would love, even if, let's say, Xbox doesn't go ahead and go crazy with showing their games, I would love for them to take the other huge opportunity that's on the table. And let's be clear, I think that this is probably their most beneficial opportunity in the short term, which is to go heavy in Game Pass announcements and Xbox Play Anywhere games. So these third-party games, they showing you this dope-ass game. Oh my God, that looks amazing. And then at the end, day one on Game Pass. Holy shit, crazy, right? That would be wild. Or a lesser version, but still a big deal because of, you know, what they're doing going forward is Xbox Play Anywhere, right? Like, what a statement does that make to be like, hey, at the end of the trailer, it shows PlayStation, you know, Xbox and Xbox Play, you know, PC and Xbox Play Anywhere, right? Like, that is a huge deal, right? Like, I just saw, I was just on my Raw, you know, my Xbox Ally, and I saw Red Dead is, like, the original Red Dead is on PC now, right? And I own it on Xbox, but it's not owned on PC because it's not an Xbox Play Anywhere game, right? So that is one of those moments when you start realizing, like, yeah, Xbox Play Anywhere, although it's not as sexy as Game Pass, right? To hear, oh, this game is on Game Pass, it is a big deal when you went ahead and have the game on Xbox, and now it's an Xbox Play Anywhere game, right? Like, in my chat, there was a lot of people telling me that, oh, they had just bought Metal Gear Solid, but they bought it on Steam, and now because they wanted to play it on PC, and now it got announced as a Play Anywhere game. So it's like, oh man, if you bought it on Xbox, you would have gotten it on, you know, on the Windows Store, right? So, you know, it's just a that for me would be the other way that they can really show up to the Game Awards, right? Give me Game Pass, give me Xbox Play Anywhere, you know, really really put a stamp in that way if you're not going to go all out and show hardware and show what's coming next. Or F it, just do it all, baby. Give us the hardware, give us the games, and make Game Pass and Xbox Play Anywhere, and all a huge part of it, right? That would be great as well. But
be greedy gamers. Nothing wrong with that. So real quick, before we get out of here, right? We read catch up on super chats, folks. I see people asking why would they show hardware. Let me break down a quick timeline for you. Okay, and again, I don't have a degree in marketing, folks. I'm just a fan. I'm just a nerd. I'm a bot. That's fine. But this is why. Here, if I'm managing a market manager for Xbox, this is my plan. So you say you might be asking why hardware at the Game Awards. Well, simply, if they have this piece of hardware releasing next year, let's just say for hypothetical conversation that the OEM device is releasing next year. This is a show, because of its size, scope, and scale, that gives the normies and non-Xbox players a look into the future of Xbox through a third party. Right? It might not be as powerful. It might be a glimpse at what Magnus is. It might actually be a set-top box that you sit on there like the Steam box, except it's by Asus, and it's playing all your Xbox and by Xbox games. And by then, they'll have a uniformed UI where, like Simon said in his opening segment, where it's just going to be, everything is going to be an Xbox. Everything's going to have the same UI. It's just all going to look and work, and that's just the way it is. Because there's going to be so many eyes, and because of the timing of it, you want that. Because if you look towards next year, and you might be saying, well, boom, they have June. But here's the thing. If I'm the marketing manager, the June event has to be the Xbox produced hardware for next year. And if you already have announced that your OEM device is releasing, Xbox hardware, third-party hardware is releasing next year, you take the June showcase to then start talking about 27 and what that's going to look like. So you're starting a consistency plan here where it's one after another. And you might be saying, well, they could do that in January. Well, not really, because January is going to be focused on the games. And for this show, I wouldn't show Halo. We just saw it. I would not show Forza Horizon 6. No, because you can show that at the January Xbox Dev Direct, which is going to have banger after banger after banger. What I show, if I'm the marketing manager for Xbox and I do show off hardware like they did in 2019, what I would show is Gears of War E-Day gameplay on that hardware, because what it will do, that's something we haven't seen since, well, we've never seen any gameplay at all. We've seen a trailer a couple of years ago and have not heard anything since. So because we heard about, Halo and what it looks like, we don't need that. We know that they're going to probably show actual gameplay from Forza Horizon 6 in Japan in January. This is an opportunity to show off what Unreal Engine 5.6 looks like running on this potential OEM device, and that will steal the zeitgeist conversation from anything anyone shows. Xbox ultimately steals the show with this announcement the same way that they did in 2019.